This is lesson 6.4, Sales Tax and Commission in Pre-Algebra, continuing with chapter 6, dealing with percentages and moving things back and forth and finding what parts of the total we're dealing with. And we're going to start right away with some examples. And again, we've got story problems. So example 1 says, suppose the sales tax in Mississippi is 7%. Let's go ahead and convert that to a decimal first so we know what we're going to be working with, because again, we don't deal with the percentages. That's just something for us to relate to, not necessarily used in the problem. And if we bought a refrigerator for $550, how much sales tax must be paid? So 7% of $550 is how much we're going to pay in sales tax. So 7% of $550 is sales tax. So 0.07 times $550 is going to tell us how much money of that 550, or how much we're going to pay in addition to that 550 in sales tax. So we multiply 0.07 times 550 and get $38.50. So that's how much we get in or paying in sales tax. So then when we buy the refrigerator, we're going to pay the 550 plus the $38.50 in sales tax. In example 2, we're going to go a little bit backwards here, because they're telling us that the sales tax is 4% on this bike that we bought, and that when we bought the bike, we paid $5.44 in sales tax. And now what they're asking is, how much did you pay for the bike if you paid $5.44 in sales tax? So what we've got is 4% of the total price is $5.44. So 4% of the total price is $5.44. So let's go ahead and write that as an equation. 0.04 times the total, which we could call that X, or let's just write it as total, is 5.44. So now we divide both sides by 0.04. That goes away, so 5.44 divided by 0.04 is $136. So if we had to pay $5.44 in tax at 4%, that means the bike originally cost $136. So $136 plus the $5.44 is going to give me the total cost of the bike. So, and that's what they're asking. Make sure you read the question, what they're asking for. They're not just asking how much the bike was. It says, what is the total price? How much money did you have to pull out of your wallet? Well, the $136 for the bike plus the $5.44. So we're going to add that $5.44 to that and get 141.44 is actually how much money you had to give for that bicycle. So let's look at example 3, looking at a different thing. So in example 1, we found out how much sales tax we paid. In example 2, we found out how much we had to pay for the bike total. And this example is asking to find out what the sales tax percentage is. So we bought a stereo system for $396, and we paid $19.80 sales tax. What they're asking for is, what is the percentage of the sales tax that we had to pay? $19.80 is what percent of 396? In fact, let's go ahead and write it that way. $19.80 is what percent of 396. And then we can just write that as an equation. Is what percent of 396? So then we're going to do this. Divide both sides by 396. That goes away. And we end up with 0.05 equals x, and then we change that to a percent, move the decimal place over 2, and we get 5%. This next part of 6.4 has to do with commission. So if you're a car dealer or you sell houses or something, you make a certain percentage off what you sell, which gives you some incentive to sell more, because the more you sell for the company, the more money the company gives you as a reward for doing so well. So example 4 says that we have a real estate agent and they get 3% of every house that they sell. So this particular agent sold a house for $389,500. And when you sell a house for that much, you're probably kind of curious, well, how much money am I going to make as a real estate agent? It's very helpful to know that. So what we're going to do is we're going to find out how much money this agent made if she made 3%. So what is 3% of 289,500? So what is x is 3% of 289,500. So we're going to multiply those two numbers together and we get 8685. So that real estate agent sold one house and made $8,685 for selling that house. Example 5 has to do with commission as well, but it has a little bit of a different twist. The commission rate on selling a car is 12%. If the commission on one of the cars, so a salesman sold a car and he got a check for $1,836. So how much money did he sell the car for? So $1,836 is 12% of the total amount that he sold the car for. So we can write this as 12%. We can write it in really several ways. The way I just said it or the way the book has it. The book has it as 12% of the total selling price of the car is $1,836. So 12%, 0.12, changing it as a decimal, times x, which is the total, equals $1,836. Divide both sides by 0.12. 1,836 divided by 0.12 is $15,300. So that's how much the car sold for. That's the percentage the salesman got, and that's the actual cash that the salesman got for selling a car for $15,300. So let's look at one more. It's again a little bit different than the other two we did. It's the commission. This is example 6. On a $600 dining room, I would imagine table and chairs, and so that commission was $90. So the dining room table and chair sold for $600. The salesperson made $90, and what we're interested in is the percentage. Did they make 10%, 15, 20, whatever? So let's go ahead and write this. $90 is what percent? Again, because that's what we're looking for, is the percent. So the percent gets the what in front of it. $90 is what percent of the $600? So 90 is what percent of 600? And again, you can just pull the percentage sign off when it's what you're looking for, when it's the what. you can just take the percentage sign off and replace it with an X, because we'll put the percentage sign back on, but we don't want to use percentage when we're doing the math. So we're going to divide both sides by 600, and so therefore X is 0.15, or move it over 2 decimal places to change it back to a percent. Now notice, most of the time when you're dealing with these percentages and you're dividing, the smaller number will be on top and the larger number will be on the bottom, so that you get a number smaller than 1, a decimal that you can move over. Now sometimes that number will be bigger than 1, but most of the time that's kind of just a way to check when you're doing these problems right now. When you're doing them as a fraction, when you divide both sides by, say, 600 like we did here, make sure the biggest number is on the bottom and the smallest number is on the top, and that kind of lets you know whether you're setting the problem up right. Now again, later on we'll be doing some that changes, but for right now just keep that in mind.